Let's talk about individuals that are securely attached. If you've seen any of my other videos, you'll know that I usually talk about the insecure attachment styles because that's really where people want to learn about themselves, their partner, and that's where the work needs to be done. But the goal really is to become securely attached. So remember that attachment style starts in childhood. So the bond between the caregiver and the child is what sets the tone that carries into adulthood. So the securely attached individual typically had parents that were also securely attached. So they showed up in a timely way when the needs needed to be met of the child. There was trust built because they knew that if they had a physical or emotional need, the parent was able to show up quickly and respond in a way that was effective. They were emotionally attuned. Early on, securely attached individuals learned that their parents and their caregivers would show up for them when they needed them to, timely in a way that was calm, regulated, effective, and would help them work through their emotions or their big feelings whenever they would show up. So the adults showed up for the child in a way that was trustworthy, responsive, and emotionally attuned. Because the adults were so emotionally attuned, securely attached individuals also have great emotional attunement. They're able to express their emotions and feelings without fear of rejection or conflict, and they're able to express a very wide array of emotions. They're also able to stay regulated when maybe somebody else is not regulated, even when they're not regulated. They're able to keep themselves calm even when there's conflict or someone else is showing up in a dysregulated way. They also don't participate in dysfunctional behaviors or participate when someone else is really dysregulated. It doesn't feel good to them. They know that's not normal. They know that's not secure. And so it's something that they shy away from. They also are very good at setting boundaries. They also are good at easily and effectively communicating their feelings, their needs. They don't have a problem asking for their needs. They believe that they are worthy of getting their needs met. They believe that they are worthy of love and being treated the right way. So they set boundaries and they're able to receive love without fear of it or fear of intimacy or connection. They believe they're deserving of it and they're able to give it and receive it well. They're able to ask for their needs directly without protest behaviors or without being afraid of getting their needs met. And they're able to read the cues easily of their partner and meet their partner's needs as well. They're emotionally available and they don't have any issues with being vulnerable. They know when to be vulnerable without being overly vulnerable in new situations or when there hasn't been trust built yet. But they are comfortable being vulnerable without worries of being rejected or abandoned. When there is a conflict, they are able to address it calmly and they are able to stay present and engaged during the conversation. They don't shut down and use deactivating strategies. They don't go into a trauma response. They don't go into fight, flight, freeze, or a fawn response. They're able to stay engaged, stay present, and continue communication. They can think and feel at the same time, whereas a lot of times the feelings for the other attachment styles become so big that they're pushed into that trauma response. The securely attached individual can actually stay present and not go into a response of any type, but actually be able to use the rational thinking side of their brain versus going into a trauma response. Securely attached individuals have a really good self-view of themselves. They're positive of themselves. They have a positive view. They have high self-esteem. So they really are okay being alone or being in a relationship. They don't get their value from being in a relationship, and they're also not terrified of intimacy or fear intimacy. So they really can be alone or be in a relationship and be completely content either way because they are okay with themselves. When conflict arises or they are upset, they are able to self-soothe and self-regulate. They are also able in conflict to be able to co-regulate because both are really important in a healthy relationship. You cannot completely depend on your partner to self-soothe you at all times. They may not be available, or it may be when you need a timeout and you're going to have to self-soothe on your own. But at the same time, at some point in a relationship, you should be able to come back together and co-regulate together and make sure that you're helping your partner to feel better. So the securely attached individual can do both. Securely attached individuals are able to easily take in stride issues that come up in relationships, and they can deal with things like rejection, discomfort. disagreement, conflict, those are things that don't really get them all out of whack. They're able to stay regulated and they can adapt and deal with it with good coping strategies and being able to set boundaries or have good conversations. They're able to adapt quickly and are competent and capable in those situations to deal with those things. These individuals feel connected and satisfied in their relationships, so they're not always worried about their other partner to an obsessive degree. They show up for their partner, they're warm, caring, empathetic, they try to show up in their best way for their partner. They read their partner's cues well and show up in that way, but they don't obsess about their partner or overly concerned about their partner or what their partner's up to or if their partner's okay. They don't have a lot of distrust around their partner, but they feel secure in their relationship. Every single one of us is able to work towards earning your secure attachment style. Whether you're an anxious preoccupied or you're dismissive avoidant or a fearful avoidant, whatever your attachment style is, if it's not a secure one, everybody can work towards being secure. Attachment styles are not something that is set in stone. While there are studies that have shown that 72% of attachment styles stick with an individual through adulthood, this was a 20-year study. The truth is, once we're aware of these things and once we figure out what our triggers are and where our issues lie and how we work with our partner and their attachment style, these things can be addressed and there's work that can be done to earn a secure attachment. So just know that if you weren't one of those lucky people who came from securely attached parents, there's still hope for you. Keep following me. I'd love to help you out and help you figure out some tools and strategies to help get you there.